Now, then, like you're talking about all those success books, those like amazing books, so like Wallace Wattles, Science of Getting Rich, and talking about like if you don't really like, if you're not focused on money, don't start with that book. Same with like Grant Cardone, like you don't want to read Grant Cardone's books. Man, like you're also like as you said, semi-pro football player, and have you been able to transition any of like your success principles that you've been getting out of books or anything like that into your football career? Because I know you've won a couple of championships and stuff. So have you been able to sort of transition any of that stuff to your normal everyday life and your football career?
Big time, man. I'll never forget when I first read The Magic of Thinking Big. It really showed as far as light to me. That was kind of a big time breakthrough for me, because it's funny because I first reading that book, I was also in the middle of reading Think and Grow Rich as well, but I was really into the Magic of Thinking Big, and it really kind of just calmed me down, settled me down as far as a lot of petty stuff. But there's a lot of inside anger. We have a coach who's an NLP coach, William Wood, love the guy to death as well, so, along with his brother as well, Dave. But also too, on top of that book, and just being some of the stuff, techniques that we learned from William Wood as far as like releasing anger. Because I remember I told this to another buddy of ours, Martin, in Atlanta, man, a month ago. I was like, man, seeing that live stream event when they were in Costa Rica, and they just the release. I've been doing that for like last few months. That has helped me out so much. And this is for those two, for our viewers as well. If you're watching, you might think there are different other ones, but this is the main one I've been using for months. I've been using it since like late September of last year. I kid you not. Just there's a lot of just writing stuff down for like 3 minutes, get all the anger out, and then it's on the paper, and then you just blow out that negative energy 3 times onto it. Put your hand on your heart, and you say, just put your hands on your heart. You put your hand on your heart when you have that piece of paper. You stare at it, and it's like, you know what? Like I choose to let this go. Somebody, I think it's like that. Choose to, no, something. I forgot the exact words though. But then once you're done with that, you rip it up. You're done. You're done. It's like I choose to let this go. I choose to let this go. Now what's funny about that? I didn't. At first, I was like, okay, what in the world? Because this is something that Valerie mentioned that Dallas meant, though, Alex, as well. As far as people will start noticing how open you get doing that. I was like, man, you got to be kidding. I kid you not. After doing that for like maybe a week, people on Facebook messaging me that I've known for years, but it's just out of blue. Not talking about anything about business. Hey, how's it going? I'm like, what in the world? Literally, this out of blue. I was like, this crap really does work. What I mean? To answer your question, patience. As far as on the football field, patience. A lot of people don't know this about me, Alex. I know it's really between you and me because I know we were following, obviously we following each other. But when I was mainly on Periscope a lot, when I had suffered a minor heart attack about 18, 19 months ago, because of working on my personal development and also listening to a morning mindset call from, mentor of yours, Paul Hutchins, been on that call for almost 4 years. It'll be 4 years September. I was kind of laughing at myself for having, blocked artery. I had a blocked artery, had a heart stent placed in it. I was ticked off. I was ticked off for first. I'm like, how in the world? Like, I'm a picky eater, number one. I'm not the type of person that eats out like that, like crazy. I do a lot of working out. Like if it's not push-ups, crunches, stretching, jumping rope, running, Olympic weightlifting, I've been doing that for over 10 plus years. Really, I've been doing that for almost 15 years. Olympic weightlifting. Never competed in the competition, but I just used those lists for the sport for the game I love playing. I was like, how in the world did I get stuck with a blocked artery? And there were just a couple tweaks as far as what I was eating that you think are healthy, but are really not. So I have to do my due diligence. And personal development helped me with that too, because some people would say, I'm going to listen to everything the doctor told me. Well, this is what I was thinking. I'm not going to sit here and take pills the rest of my life in my early 30s. You've got to be freaking kidding me. I'm just not going to do it. So I'm like, all right. I'm sitting there in the ER after having that stent placed in me, looking at my laptop. I typed the word for it, how to remove plaque from your arteries. I kid you not. There was this guy, there's a nutritionist, Andrew M. I call it. That was his name. I don't know. His last name is one of those. What's hard to pronounce? has a product called Claravasa. So for those that have heart disease, you can look it up. It's Claravasa. Claravasa. It's not a network marketing company. I wish it was. I ain't gonna lie. I wish it was. It's not. Shoot, he has a lifetime customer coming from me for life. I ain't gonna lie. But anyway, I was saying, you know what? I did my research and read his article. And when a lot of the stuff that he had mentioned, when I read that online, it's no different from what Napoleon Hill mentioned, success principles in the Think and Grow Rich. And I hunted that guy down. I was talking about the nutritionist, Dr. Andrew M. So I was looking through social media, online, YouTube, found him on LinkedIn. I just asked him this one question. I kid you not. I was like, hey, man, I really love Claravasa. I just started taking it. I think maybe it was a month in. I was like, but after reading your article or reading your blog or no, your website, what's the blog? I had to ask, were you a Think and Grow Rich student? He messaged me back a day later. He was like, man, Andre, that was like the Bible when I first got started. As soon as he said that, I'm like, you know what? This guy doesn't know. He has a lifetime customer right here because it helps clear plaque in your arteries. It's a basically nutritional, I don't want to say supplement. It's basically like a nutritional pill that has a lot of vitamins and minerals that, probably get in everyday eating. Now, obviously, you have to do your own research as well, your own due diligence. But, I mean, if you're really like a go-getter like me, and he questioned it so many times as far as like, if you're doing everything that you possibly can for the doctors and it's still not working, don't you think it's time to take charge of your own health? Yeah. Jim Rohn mentioned that one time. There's a book, Jim Rohn has a book that says, hey, take charge of your own life. Well, Andrew M was talking about taking charge of your own health. So I was like, you know what, let me go ahead and do this as well. I'm not going to get into too much of the details as far as if it, not saying it doesn't work because it does work. Like I said, I've been taking it for almost 2 years right now because there are certain signs that you can tell the arteries are clearing up, and it works in the smaller arteries first. So if you're a male, you might understand where I'm going with this. I want to stop where the smaller arteries are because I'm trying to keep this at least PG-13. Your arteries are cleared up first, the smaller arteries. I felt it in like the first couple of weeks. I was like, yep, it's working. I'll leave it at that. But anyway, also too.
I'll go back to that because you said like you sort of you didn't understand why it would happen to you because like you ate well and you sort of worked out and everything. It's like you had your heart attack like it was like a week or two after our Vegas event where like we hung out all weekend. And I could not get you to drink a beer. I could not get you to eat any shitty food. I was at the freaking restaurant there, chowing down a burger and fries, and you were just eating something healthy. And it's like, dude, like, come on. And you go, no, dude, no. I'm a football player. I'm going to look after my body. And, like, you're always, like, putting videos that you're doing your deadlifts and everything. And it's like, and then you message me the week later just going, I had a heart attack. And I'm just like, get the fuck out of here. There's no way. There's no way that someone 31 years of age or something, I think, were you 31?
Yeah, 31 at the time. Yeah.
Playing football your entire life, physically fit. Like, you're a big guy, but, like, that's your build, right? That's your build. So you always just look after yourself, and then you had a heart attack. That sort of that made me just go, well, holy shit. Like, I better start looking after myself. And I still haven't listened to myself from 2 years ago because I still don't look after myself. But I'll actually have to check out that stuff you're talking about because my dad's got really bad heart disease. But man, like, you jumped on the football field really quick after that.
Man, it's funny about that. It's funny you mentioned that because, you talk about – this also comes down to – I'm now going to change the topic just a little bit. Having a strong purpose. As I mentioned that earlier when we got in the way here too. I really do believe when you have a strong purpose, not saying that if you don't like something, that's a bad way to start off. That's a good way because at least it's something that you understand that you don't want. But if you have a strong focus as far as a strong purpose is what you really want, it's amazing what you're going to do. Man, this is something that a lot of people probably look back like, man, I did do that because it was a strong purpose. Definitely major purpose that Napoleon Hill mentioned. That I was just thinking when I was sitting in the hospital, I was like, all right. I got 3 weeks before we start training camp that Saturday. I was like, I just need to find a way to get on that field because you're right too. After that event, it's funny. I didn't feel any symptoms whatsoever at that event. It was not until I think that following Saturday, the next week, I started feeling something. I started running. I'm like, man, why in the world? Like, I've been running at least once a month because it was off season time. I've been running. I've been lifting too. I felt like a little warm feeling going down my chest. I'm thinking it's digestive system. I'm thinking, what in the world? Like, I think it's my digestive. So I got a detox or whatever for that. And here I am. I went to work. It was like Saturday. I got a detox. I could not sleep for the crap of me that Saturday evening. Now, the funny thing is, this is talking about, fate or, grace, however you want to say it. But I was supposed to meet up with some of my teammates that Saturday, right before I went to the ER that Sunday, and they never were at the field. They actually, I got no show. So I got no show by my own teammates. But I'm kind of glad that they did not show up, because I didn't have it till the next day when I was at work. So I mean, had I been running with them, they would have been calling 911 for me. And there's no ifs, ands, or buts. I already know that, because that Saturday night, I'm like, okay, I've been trying to live to that the whole week. For some reason, it was tough for me to breathe. I'm like, asthma? Like, this is weird. It's just tough for me to breathe, but I mean, that's why we have a blocked artery. I'm still going through everything. Like, I'm lifting and whatnot. Like you said, I'm squatting over 400 pounds. I'm doing reps and whatnot. Basically dying. And again, going back to answer your question out of talking about personal development, I can laugh this off because I know what my mentality was with everything. I never forget this. My head coach used to say in college, the harder you work, the harder it is to surrender. So this is with anything in life. I mean, you put a lot of work in anything, of course it's going to be hard just to give it up. Some people, a lot of people that don't really know where they're going, I'm not saying they're bad people, but man, shoot, I'm going to give it all up. Well, shoot, of course you're going to, because you don't really know what you want. It's just what it is. It's nothing to sugarcoat it. You seriously don't know what you want, unless you want to go do something different, and you want to do that. I understand that, but just to say something because somebody else is kind of focusing on what they're doing, and you're not, I'm not going to put them. Don't put your own limited beliefs on me. That's how I see it. So yeah, coming back to, like you mentioned though, I was already in good shape. I was doing everything what I said. But the doctor said, like, okay, we'll do this. Can't live for like 2 or 3 days. I drilled every nurse that was in that ER. Bless their hearts. I drilled every nurse.
Hold on. You drilled every nurse?
Not that.
It's like, dude.
No, I'm talking about questions. Again, we're keeping it PG-13. Not that. One nurse is pregnant. One nurse is pregnant. I'm like, I'm like, boy, this baby's about to come out. She's trying to talk to me seriously. I'm just looking at her stomach like, your baby's about to come out. But anyway, I was drilling every nurse as far as the questions. So, okay, can I do this? And then probably after that week and a half, because again, I was already in good shape. I was good to go as far as, to just do some. I started off doing some walking and whatever. I think I was able to I started lifting again within like a couple weeks. I didn't waste any time, because I mean, you're talking to somebody, I'm not in my 50s or 60s. I got 20-something plus years to get to that. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, oh yeah, I was in good enough shape. So here I am lifting right back at it as well. And then that third week, right before we about to get away, I was at training camp that Saturday. I was like, man, this is pretty sweet. I made it within 3 weeks. I didn't really expect that. My head coach, when I told him that week of, he said, hey, I just want you back healthy. So you come back and just want you back healthy. Because I already had a couple of teammates that had heart attacks as well. I was like, man. So I'm like leaning toward them like, hey, how do you overcome this? You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you do this. And one of them, who's now one of our coaches, he's like, hey, you're in better shape than me. So a lot of the stuff that I mentioned to you, like, you should be fine. Well, he said, just listen to everything that you called it, your doctor says or whatever. But then, I hate to get off topic again. I love my doctors to death, all of them. But there's limited thinking in that side of the world too, the medical field, because of big pharma, the big pharmaceutical companies as well. Like a lot of stuff they tell me to take, I've gotten a lot of headaches. I'm like, all right, this is not working. What next? They give me some more pills. I'm still getting headaches. So I'm like, you know what? I have to do my own due diligence. So I was like, I'm going to go and just start researching this stuff for myself as far as what to do eat some stuff naturally. And, Alice brought up a good testament. I'm not even paying attention as far as that, like how I am, because that's just how I am as far as like going out to eat. I am a picky eater, and I'm not going to lie. Once in a while, I might go to a fast food place. Like I said, I'm in season right now. Had a game last night, so where we stopped at, Wendy's.
God, so we don't get Wendy's in Australia. I miss Wendy's. I like those freaking square. It's all cool. How'd your game go last night?
So what again?
How'd your game go last night? You played last night?
Oh, great. We won 30-0.
30-0. Oh man, that's awesome.
We needed it too, because I mean, I'm not gonna lie, and this is something that people can remember watching this. This is a lot of stuff I apply in football. I can apply this in life. I mentioned that a head coach in college said this. What Vince Lombardi said years ago: the harder the work, the harder it is to surrender. My head coach right now, my semi-pro team, always says this: it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And right now, I'm not gonna lie, we were struggling up to that point because we had lost the last 2 games by a touchdown. So to win last night, it's just finally get that fresh taste in our mouth. So for those watching down the road in the future, we expect to turn it around big time. Again, this is a team that's won 4 championships in a row. We upgraded to a different league last season, and now we're in another league this season. And going back to like you were talking about as far as how the personal development helped me out with football, made it back. Oh, by the way, made it back to the training camp. Played the season, last season, and let's see what else. We got all the way to the conference championship game, and then we had lost by a touchdown. But it's funny because after the season was over with, I met up with my head coach. We're supposed to meet up with some other teammates. It was just me and him. We're just sitting eating or whatever. And then he has a jersey, and he has a jersey because he wanted to give out some jerseys. What is this? I was fortunate to be I was an all-star, selected as an all-star with the team last season. After coming from what I just did, that previous August, having a minor heart attack or whatnot, I'm like, what the heck? So, you know what I'm saying? That's what happens when you have a strong purpose. That's my point. What I mean? Now, again, this pay to play.
You went from having like a heart attack to that next season being all-star of that league.
Yeah, selected all-star. Yeah.
Man, that's huge. And then it's all just comes down to your success principles and everything that you've learned, like studying success, pretty much.
Well, Napoleon Hill mentioned this in one of his other books too, The Master Key to Riches, that a lot of successful people, like obviously he has a handful of books. I remember The Law of Success. He has 15 different principles in there. A lot of successful people will always follow principles, not even knowing that particular name or how to categorize them. But they will always follow the same type of principles. And been real key in this as of late, as far as knowing what you want first and foremost. Call it definitely your purpose. You call it your why. However you want to call it. Just that right there is the start of anything. Because I mean, what's the point of you just dabbling in with something and being a drifter, as he mentioned, outweighing the devil, and just going through the motions of life. You see what I'm saying? Now, of course, I know I'm not going to be playing a sport for the rest of my life. I wish I could. I'm not going to lie. But I'm also glad that I've learned other stuff in business, and too, like I mentioned earlier, the Rich Dad series of books. I read 18 of those. Yeah. A lot of them I read twice. I just love the way Kiyosaki is always talking about this. I read his wife's book as well, Rich Woman. Read that twice as well. I just love some of the stuff they mentioned because they just keep it simple, and also the language that they use within it. Because I mean, and again, those in the home-based business profession, they're gonna love this. Having that cross when he has the E, the S, the B, and the I side. Each person, at least category, is a different being, and that's really true. As far as employee side, self-employed side, business owner side, and investor side, it really is true. That's why I was mentioning earlier. I can tell within seconds of the conversation where somebody's listening. Not saying that, oh, I'm judging you or whatever, but I mean, we're in this profession now. That's we're trying to. Hey, we're the interviewer now. Let's be real, but and the people that we're trying to, prospect of it. I'm using offline and network marketing language. But the thing is, prospecting. Yeah, it's true. We're trying to see, okay, this person is a good fit. You might be either good fit for a customer, or maybe you might be a potential business partner. But I got to see first and foremost where you're coming from. So when you were talking about earlier, as far as I had people that just, hey. They don't even relate. They just throw up all over you as far as hey, how's it going? By the way, here's somebody I had that last week and a half as well. I had one person really trying on LinkedIn. I was like, no thanks, I'm good. Thank you for the offer, but I'll focus where I'm at. And she was still trying to get me to watch the video. I was like, no, thank you. I am good. I'm focused where I'm at. And I had somebody message me literally a few days ago, the same day on Google+. Hey, how's it going on there? See, you're in MLM. You're in MLM. Here's the link to watch this video and come back to me. Come on now, relate with people, guys. That's what I mean by we're in the 21st century. We're in the information age. That's what I was going with talking about Kiyosaki. That's what he was talking about Rich Dad Poor Dad. We're in the information age. This is the 21st century. You relate with people. People can smell BS right off rip. Tony Robbins mentioned that in an interview with Eric Worre. I remember watching that a few months ago. The people's BS meters are up. They try this. Well, that's their first problem. They tried something. That means they were, serious. They're like, okay, they see maybe potential or a little bit, but then it probably doesn't work. Okay, I'm not going to say that opportunity doesn't work, but when you're working on yourself, because remember, people got to understand, if you're in any home-based business opportunity, all it is personal development disguised as opportunity. Yeah. People miss that. They really do. You really got Kiyosaki mentioned that he was never been in network marketing. And I'm a Kiyosaki fan. I'm going to be mentioning the name so many times on this interview. He's mentioned it so many times. Give it at least a 5-year run if you're in a network marketing profession. And, it's true. This is a business owner. I'm talking about the B side that, that cash flow quality. He is a business owner. I mean, you don't go with, I wouldn't think that you're going to buy a McDonald's franchise. Like, I don't think this works. This is a scam. Give it a week after you spend millions of dollars.
Well, I just had a team member, it was like last week. She messaged me. She's been playing around for 3 weeks or something, done nothing, asked too many freaking questions, and then she goes, "Oh no! This is a scam. This is bullshit." Or whatever. It's just like you haven't even given anything a go. I tell everyone, this is a long-term business. You can't just expect to get results like that. It just doesn't happen ever, anywhere. Like you said, buy a McDonald's franchise and you're going to need to work. It's not like buying an investment where everything just happens for you. It's not like buying shares. It's a freaking business. Hope you're really enjoying this interview so far with Andre. Jeez, he's an awesome guy. He's so passionate. You can just hear it in his voice. You can get caught up in his excitement. It's just awesome. This is part 2. Part 3 is next. It's the final part of this amazing interview with Andre. Now, in the next part, you're going to find out why football is a scam. Seriously, check it out why football's a scam. So click that link below this video and you can get to part 3, watch the rest of this interview, and also leave a comment on what you're thinking of this interview so far. Let us know what you think. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Cheers. I look forward to seeing you on the 3rd part of this amazing interview. See ya.